Going on, guys? Here today to talk about something that I've been asked about quite a bit, be it on streams or in the comments of videos, but it's just my general recommendations for what substats to look out for on your artifacts. And obviously, that is going to vary character to character. I do believe, at least for slots 1 and 2, the defensive substats, there's pretty solid concrete answers there, but again, it can still vary. But I'm going to go over my recommendations and what I think is the best in each slot. Ignore the Ring of Abundance, it's there for power right now. This is not another Ningfei video. This is just me breaking down some artifact substats. So in slot 1 and 2, I highly recommend defense boost and elemental resistance. Those two are pretty bare minimum mandatory for me. Reason being, defense boost is just going to give you flat damage resistance, give you almost 20% at tier 10, and that's just, there's no conditions, it's just flat damage resistance. Elemental resistance is dang near the same thing, and it goes up to 22%. The reason I say it's dang near the same thing is because all enemy damage in this game is elemental minus melee attacks and boss stomps. So elemental resistance plus defense boost really has you covered in regards to increasing your character's ability to tank and damage. The next one that I personally hate playing without is range damage resistance. Snipers in this game hurt. As you push higher content, they hurt even more. Getting distance to long range damage, which is more than 15 meters away, so it doesn't actually have to be that far, and it also doesn't have to be from snipers. Enemies outside of that 15-meter range, it's deemed long range damage. Even playing on Ningfei, where I'm very much a close-up character, I still like to have this over melee damage resistance if I have to choose, just because usually the enemies close to me are dying quickly. It's the enemies that are far away that are getting free shots on me that I take a lot of damage from. So to me, I value range damage resistance really heavily. And for an exotic, this is pretty much exactly how I want my artifacts set. I like shield boost. It's now you can absolutely sub shield boost for melee damage resist, and then you can have all four of the main resistances just to give yourself as much DR as possible. And that's definitely something I'm considering, but we work with the artifacts we're given. So this is where I'm at. Like you said, shield boost is good and health boost are good. As long as you have the other three, but for me, at least bare minimum, defense and elemental resistance, you can kind of play around with the other two. Some characters' healing bonus might be really beneficial. I know it's good on Estella. It is pretty good on Ningfei. I've done testing with it. I just haven't had the artifact to drop the way I quite want it. Ideally, I'd get defense, elemental, healing boost, and then either range damage resistance or shield boost. But it varies. But my point is defense boost and elemental resistance are kind of non-negotiables for me. And I think that it's just a good starting point for everyone on their defensive artifacts to try to get both defense and elemental on your artifacts, whether it's mythic or exotic, just to give you some of that built-in DR. And then we'll move over to slots 3 and 4. The reason I'm not going I'm just pairing them together because slots 1 and 2 all have defensive. Slots 3 and 4 have offensive. So there's really two schools of thought you can have for 3 and 4, personally. This is my ideal for how I'm playing, and I'll explain why. I think ability strength is just the single-handedly strongest substat on slots 3 and 4. Reason for it is it boosts both of your signature abilities, also applies to your super. It specifically states relic abilities deal increased damage. Your super counts as a relic ability. It does not count as a signature ability, which is another attribute we'll talk about. Other reason is the added tier effect, right? So we're getting a boost to weapon damage. So it synergizes, especially on a character like Ningfei, it synergizes really well that I use an ability and I get boosted weapon damage for using an ability. So ability strength is, in my opinion, the best subset in these slots. Next one I really value, at least for most characters, would be weapon enhancement. Reason I value weapon enhancement is because a lot of characters, you still want to be able to, buff your guns even more. So weapon enhancement is just going to increase the damage your guns deal with the base effect, and the tiered effect is also going to increase your weapon damage. Character like Ningfei, where you heavily lean into the crossbow, weapon enhancement, awesome. Super boost is great, especially for DPS characters. Super boost just gives you more super damage, and that's gonna, pair with your damage boost you're getting from ability strength. And then also you get more damage bonus from the added tier effect. They all kind of flow together. Now, the elemental boost is the one that kind of can be seen as out there. I want arc boost on Ningfei specifically because I run double arc weapons. All of his abilities are arc. So while the reason I say that it's a hit or miss one is because it's a pretty small um, increase to damage. It's only 16.5% at max, whereas something like signature strength would give me significantly more signature ability damage. But on Ningfei and characters who put out a lot of weapon damage and maybe not as much ability damage, I just think that, especially for like a general artifact, arc boost is never going to be bad if I'm always using arc weapons, arc abilities. The counterpoint is signature boost. This is going to boost the damage your signature abilities deal, so ability 1, ability 2. And if you chain them correctly, like so for Ningfei, if you cast a signature ability, so if I use my clone, my slam is going to get a damage bonus for 6 seconds. So you can kind of chain those things together. This right here, this setup, is probably what more people would consider ideal. And then you've got and then characters like Estella, for example, where she's not dealing a bunch of weapon damage, maybe you sub the weapon enhancement out for solar boost. But characters who a lot of their damage, if it's balanced between either their abilities or their weapons, I think weapon enhancement is really good. I think signature boost is always good. I just personally, the way I play most characters, I would rather have the general element boost because I typically run 2 weapons of the same element on the characters. And obviously that's going to change if you're running, different elemental weapons. Signature boost is always going to affect your abilities and help them. But I just wanted to kind of briefly go over what my thoughts are on the artifact substats and what my recommendations are. That way, those of you who are out in the mines farming artifacts have an idea of what to look for in your slots 1 and your slots 2, and then your slots 3 and slots 4 artifacts. You always want to try to match artifacts substats in 3 and 4. That way you can get these tier effects higher. 1, they just give you more bonuses, and 2, it actually will give you more power. Okay? Like if I were to put this one on, super boost, signature boost, arc boost, weapon enhancement, it's gonna drop my power, but it's a smaller power artifact, so we get that. It's a better comparison if you use something like, we put this one on, so I got weapon arc ability, so I'm gonna put that on. We're gonna do this one, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find me one of these that doesn't match. So this one doesn't match, so I'm losing a tier 10 substat to get 2 tier 5s. You'll see I'm actually going to drop 80 power. Now that's not, it's not a ton, but it is something. And it just goes to show you that these little tweaks can actually help you out tremendously, especially if you're still chasing power for your medals. So always try to match your substats from slots 3 and 4 and then your 1 and 2 substats, because you want to be able to pump those tiers up as high as possible. If you have any questions or you felt like I missed something, like I said, this was very general, but don't hesitate to ask in the comments. Let me know what else you want to see from me. I've been loving this game, loving making content for it. Definitely loving playing Ningfei. So any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like the content and want to continue to see it, don't hesitate to drop a sub, drop a like, drop a dislike. Let me know what I did wrong that made you not like the video. And I just want to keep improving, keep helping you guys out the best I can. So hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Hope it's a great one for you.